Good evening and welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, the president surfaces at the Jumat service at the presidential villa. One of his aides says there's nothing to worry about the president's health. UN report paints a picture of massive violation of children's rights in the northeast of Nigeria by the terrorist group Boko Haram. Benue State House of Assembly passes the anti-grazing bill, prescribes 3 years imprisonment for violation. A North Korea leader raises alarm, accuses the United States government of plotting to assassinate him.
And on business news tonight, Nigeria's Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission advocates transparency in public-private sector partnerships.
And on sports news tonight, ex-planter Primary School Ikoyi and Community Primary School Molegba to represent Lagos State in the Channel's National Kids Cup after qualifying from the preliminaries.
From Abuja, danger looms in Bayelsa State as a major link bridge to the southeast begins caving in. Residents cry out for help.
The president today made his first public appearance in 14 days by attending the Friday Jumat service at the presidential villa. President Muhammadu Buhari was joined by the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, the National Security Advisor, Muhammad Babangida Munguno, and other officials. This comes less than 48 hours after the president missed the Federal Executive Council meeting for the third time since his return from medical vacation in the United Kingdom. One of those who accompanied him to the service, Senator Abu Ibrahim, told journalists that there is no reason to worry about the president's health.
He came out by himself. He didn't come out on a stretcher. He prayed like any other person. He finished until the prayers are completed. So he looks quite strong. So I think all the speculation now should be laid rest. But every human being falls sick. I remember one of the American presidents ruled America on wheelchair. So obviously I think the best for our leaders is to pray to them or for them to have health, good mind, sound mind, and that's how all of us will enjoy and benefit. But if we pray negatively, it will affect all of us. So obviously we are all human beings. We will fall sick one day, we will die one day.
And the president's war against terror may have brought relative peace to the northeast, but the leader of the Boko Haram, Abubakar Shekau, has released another video where he threatened to resume fresh killings in the country. Boasting that he's still alive and cannot be killed until his mission is completed, the Boko Haram leader also said that his men are all alive and none have been killed. The 14-minute video comes 2 days after reports emerged that Shekau had been injured and some of his key men killed in an airstrike at a location where the insurgents gathered for prayers in Borno. This is the first video Shekau has released this year and since that of December 2016, in which he faulted claims by the Nigerian army that Boko Haram insurgents had been chased out of the Sambisa forest. Meanwhile, the United Nations report has revealed how children in Nigeria's northeast have continued to be brutalized as a result of Boko Haram's insurgency in the region. According to the UN Secretary General's Special Representative for Children and Armed Conflict, Virginia Gamba, the report is the first of its kind as it captures the impact on children of the security and humanitarian situation in the country between January 2013 and December 2016. Ms. Gamba, in a statement, explains, with tactics including widespread recruitment, abductions, sexual violence, attacks on schools, and the increasing use of children in so-called suicide attacks, Boko Haram has inflicted unspeakable horror upon the children of Nigeria's northeast and neighboring countries. The statement adds that during the period reported, Boko Haram attacks on communities and with security forces resulted in the killing of 3,900 children, leaving more than 7,300 others maimed. The report lists suicide attacks as the second leading cause of child casualties, accounting for over 1,000 deaths and 2,100 injuries during the period, with 90 children, many of them girls, used for suicide bombings in Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad and Niger Republic. The UN verified the recruitment and use of 1,650 children and says these testimonies from children separated from Boko Haram indicate that many were abducted, while others joined the group due to financial incentives, peer pressure, family ties and for ideological reasons. The UN also estimates that 1,500 of them have been killed since 2014, with at least 1,280 casualties among teachers and students. Lawmakers in Benue State have passed the Open Rearing and Grazing Prohibition Bill 2017, which bars herdsmen from moving freely in farming communities, leading to conflicts between farmers and herdsmen. Apart from providing for the establishment of ranches as the only acceptable means of rearing livestock, the bill prescribes 3 years imprisonment or 100,000 naira per animal or both for violation of the provisions of the law, including cattle rustling.
After the Agatu killings in 2016, the movement against Fulani occupation Mafo called on the Benue State House of Assembly through one of its members who is a lawyer to stop open grazing, which often leads to conflict between herdsmen and farmers. 1 year after, the Mafo members took to the streets, occupying the Benue State Assembly complex over the lawmakers' perceived inactions. The State House of Assembly held a public hearing on the executive bill sent by Governor Samuel Ortom. It eventually went through the third reading.
There are Fulani people that are indigenous.
And then the bill was passed.
We considered a bill for a law to prohibit open rearing and grazing of livestock and provide for the establishment of ranches and livestock administration, regulation and control, and for matters connected therewith 2017. Having been read the third time, is hereby passed into law.
Ngunan Adingi represents Buruku local government area. She says her constituency is one of those badly affected.
It's something we've been anticipating, it's something we've been hoping for, it's something we wanted. Because the reality is that we cannot continue to have this menace and not checkmate it. So this bill for me and my people, the good people of Buruku, we have been looking forward to this bill and it's long overdue.
The main focus is to remove cattle business in Benue from being a threat to security, to lives and property in Benue State. What we have in the current bill that has been passed has made adequate provisions to protect lives and property in Benue State.
The Benue State Attorney General believes the bill can only be properly implemented through the creation of security marshals.
This law is also coming with a provision that will establish guards and who, together with this security committee that are already in place, will now be used in implementing or enforcing the provisions of this law.
Beyond this, there's also a suggestion to give justice to victims of herdsmen attacks through compensation to the injured and the families of those who died.
We also have been advocating for the reconstruction of Benue communities, rehabilitation, reconstruction and compensation for Benue communities that have been affected by the menace of herdsmen, over the years.
While Benue indigents celebrate the passage of the bill, they still believe the real issues rest with the state government and the capacity of security agencies to follow through in enforcing the law.
Staying with the issue, in a bid to tackle insecurity in Kaduna, the State Police Command has deployed special forces in Kuyambana and Kalmuku forests in Beningwari local government area of the state. The operation, codenamed Operation Restore Hope, is aimed at flushing the bandits from their hideouts and restoring peace and security.
Beningwari, an agrarian community located in the central part of Kaduna State, shares boundary with Katsina, Zamfara and Niger states. Sadly, the peace and socio-economic well-being of the people, who are mainly traders, farmers and fishermen, have been threatened over the years due to the activities of armed bandits and terrorists. On a regular basis, people are being killed by cattle rustlers and highway robbers who operate from the forests. But the police is up against the criminals now. Inaugurating the Special Strike Force, the Kaduna State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Abe, says the operatives will be deployed to the forests, major highways and other flashpoints within the troubled local government area.
We will allow our recce team move ahead because they know the area more than us. We are going to identify the areas before we move in. The timing, everything will be told. As we are progressing, we'll be briefing you. It's not a difficult mission at all.
Mr. Abe says the exercise will be a continuous operation.
The police is putting every effort into place to ensure that this menace is being controlled, curtail the activities of these cattle rustlers and other armed bandits.
Perhaps with this new strategy, the people in Benue can begin to breathe the air of peace.
The House of Representatives Committee on Tertiary Education has queried the delisting of allied management science disciplines from some federal universities of agriculture in Nigeria. The chairman of the committee at a public hearing on the delisting of courses says the law can only be amended by the legislative arm of government and not the executive. Our correspondent, Larry Lasisi, has the report.
Gathered here before the House of Representatives Committee on Tertiary Education are representatives of the National Universities Commission, the NUC, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, and representatives from some universities of agriculture. This is a public hearing to clarify issues on the scrapping of allied management science disciplines from federal universities of agriculture in Nigeria. A representative from the NUC refers to a letter from the Minister of Agriculture to the Minister of Education as the origin for the action.
Convey Mr. President's directive to me on the need to address the unauthorized revision of the legal mandate of the Federal Universities of Agriculture in Nigeria.
So while the representatives from the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board has this to say.
JAMB received a directive of government. JAMB looked at the law and discovered that the directive was not just a directive, but indeed a call to implement the law.
However, lawmakers are not satisfied with the positions put forward.
A situation where National Universities Commission is busy going on verification of courses in the universities and issuing accreditation for those courses to be mounted. And then JAMB is, on the other hand, deleting the same courses or the same set of courses. It's a contradiction in terms.
Then now it comes to question that the NUC and other operational agencies we have set to supervise and to administer our educational system have not only been doing that in error, but as far as I'm concerned, in ignorance.
The chairman of the committee says that the listing of these courses is illegal until proven otherwise. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission today identified Mrs. Fola Shadioke as the owner of Flat 7B, number 13, Osborne Road, Osborne Towers, Ikoyi, Lagos, where the sums of over $43 million, £27,800 and £23,218 naira, were recently recovered by the Commission. Mrs. Oke is the wife of the suspended Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Ayoke, whose agency had laid claim to the money. According to the EFCC, Mrs. Oke made a cash payment of $1.658 million for the purchase of the flat between August 25th and September 3rd, 2015. Justice Hassan adjourned till June 6th, 2017 to either suspend action in the case if Ogunbaje's application has merit, or if found to lack merit, proceed to give judgments for the final forfeiture of the funds.